What?
What?
Jeff?
Are we doing this? Let's just do it live. We're doing it live.
We're doing it. It's always live.
Always live. Welcome
live recorded.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to Everyone
In front of
Racers.
a live studio audience.
Shush it.
Of the
A
cat.
podcast designed for the world of low dollar racing and friends who won't shut up. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemachamp or Lucky Track dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate, as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news and notes in the world of low dollar endurance racing, and whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough, and Chrissy gives us just a tip, we're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thank you for coming back and listening to our I was concerned somebody making changes. Listening to a Lewiston and Mount Union episode of our podcast.
I'm clueless on that one.
Me too.
Someone's going to have to fill us in.
Lewistown to Mount Union is State Route 103 in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Great. Well, I'm
I
sure
live
it's
here
beautiful.
And I've never heard of either one
I'm
of those.
sure
How come
it's-
the...
Pennsylvanians and you're probably more of a Pennsylvanian than we are, because you've seen more of it, and none of us got it. Thanks though. Thanks for trying. It's episode 103. If you're not driving your car, make sure you get your bingo card, because there's a lot of people that have been getting bingo or somewhere close to it. So this might be your chance. You should do it.
People always got bingo. I think we just harassed them to post it more on our social media.
Okay.
So
All right,
post
Jeff,
your bingo on social media.
let's hear about what you're doing.
Just like the governor in Blazing Saddles, it's like work, 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 work. Miss me, boys. Think of your secretary. Think of your secretary, everyone. So I have been working pretty much nonstop between podcasts. I did have a day off, and I did some sleeping, but I also got to cut up some of the fence project. I have all of the old fence laying around from my previous project, and I have to cut it up into like sizable bites and only put out so much per trash so that the trash men will take it. And I've come up with a tool dilemma, and I'm going to spring it on everyone. Everyone knows that my favorite tool in the shop is, Chris?
The 5-inch angle grinder.
4.5 inch younger,
Yeah.
right? That's fine. Yep. Yeah, because that thing will cut everything. When you're not cutting with the 5.5 or 4.5 inch angle grinder, what do you cut with?
Sawzall.
Yeah, exactly. So my Ryobi reciprocating saw is using my old Ryobi green batteries, and I have switched to Milwaukee for my good tools, and I'm at the point now where I just don't even have battery life. So I have to decide whether I'm jumping ship on all of the stupid tools that you really don't need really well and getting them all in really expensive Milwaukee, or buying extra Ryobi batteries.
Well, how expensive are the Ryobi batteries?
Well, it's not that. It's that the Milwaukee batteries are extremely expensive.
Right. It's like the
But the
Makita ones
tools
that I
are
have.
nice. Yeah.
Right.
Have you done
The
the,
big
whole
ones.
Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Within Five, all the online guys that are reselling their stuff, especially now that winter's coming and they tractors out of the wagons financially?
Check off your list. Someone
Check
had
off your
internet
list.
problems.
Oh, I have
No,
one.
no,
Yay.
I have not looked there. I know that there's probably Chris Egan right now, is young Chris Egan, check that off your list, is out there saying, just replace the cells. You can buy them straight from China.
Oh.
You can
Or you can also have batteries plus rebuild them.
Yes.
It's actually not that bad of a charge.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe I should look into that. Anyway, that's my dilemma at the moment.
I think that
Second
counts as
favorite-
Mental gets something correct.
Ooh, good
Ooh.
for him.
Yeah.
Mental, keep doing correct things. Tell us what you're working on.
So we're still fighting with this stupid house. It did not appraise well, so the appraiser's trying to get more market value on that. And tomorrow, because we have taken so long to find a house, the government is now charging me for storage, and it's being charged at the government rate, which is stupid expensive. So tomorrow we're moving into our own storage unit. So that's been an adventure in and of itself.
Will you be living in the storage unit or just storing?
Is it like a pod? I literally thought the same thing, but I just was going to
No, just all of our crap is going in there, which it'd be nice because then I can get some more shirts. Because right now I think 70% of my available wardrobe says 3-Pedal Mafia on it.
That's not
Well,
bad, except we
that's
only
okay.
made 3 shirts, or
Yeah.
3 shirts, so that's a problem. Wearing
Yes.
one right now.
Well, all
Try to
right,
do the math
Chris.
of 3 shirts into 70%, and it don't work.
Yeah, don't work.
So, no. Oh, well.
Chris, what are you working on?
Well, last week was mostly recovery from the prior week and preparation for the coming weekend. It's been that kind of couple weeks around here, really, which is a lovely thing. Getting the cars through inspection so far. The
Ooh.
Mazda
Do
and
mine?
NSX have passed. No, wrong state. Mazda and NSX have passed. The Suburban, I'm still trying to get the readiness monitors on the EVAP system set so it'll pass emissions. Other than that, it should be fine. The Mercedes, the brakes were just barely a little too worn, and there's a chip in the windshield. The windshield's getting replaced tomorrow, and I have to bite the bullet and buy the big muddy rotors and just get it done with everything else.
I thought you found a better supplier.
I have. Fortunately, I'm not paying $1,100 each for Mercedes because Brembo has started to repop these things because they are the same. The performance package on our CLS is the same rotor as used on the current AMG GT.
Ooh.
The S and the R, apparently. So they're popping them out again. So FCP Europe has them for $450 something with a lifetime warranty because FCP Euro, but Rock Auto has them for $350 something each. Welcome to Supercar Breaks, everybody.
Yeah. I think we're going to be talking about FCP Euro soon, right?
We
Sort of.
no E-Euro.
Other
parts.
Euro.
Oh, Euro part. Oh, that's close. Wrong one.
And then I've done more work on the Civic, mostly body work. And tonight I was working on body work. I've got it not that bad now. I mean, it's still bad, but it's really like you have to, the 50-50 rule applies and it'll be fine.
Is it Citroen bad?
No.
Oh, somebody says it wrong.
It's
Well,
better.
I have that. Oh, yeah.
I
much
didn't click
better.
the bingo card. Hold on a second.
I
gotta
have
catch
that
up.
one.
See, the Civic's never, that corner is never going to be right again. It's been hit too many times.
Ever.
Unless I get a patch panel for it, which I can get. They're like $40 for the outside. They're just a lot of work to put in. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
There's no way to unbolt that, right? Because it's
a quarter panel, but because
Yeah.
they all rust there, they make patch panels for it, so I can get one, but I got to cut the whole other one out and weld it all in, and no.
It sounds like too much work.
Too much work. But
No.
anyway, it's at the point where the taillight will go back in nicely. I even threw a quick splash of paint on it to hide all the work and all the multiple colors of paint underneath. So now I just got to get the bumper reattached and bolt the taillights back in, and Civic's ready.
Woo.
Ready. It's going to HPD on Saturday, and then it's going another one in a couple weeks, and then it's got a race. But it assuming nothing breaks at the HPDs, it needs an oil change. So
Where's the HPD on Saturday?
Pocono.
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 South course, though. It's not the good course at Pocono, but yeah, well.
It's
So not
HPD.
good.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not going.
it's free.
Well, I'm not
Free
going
for
because
you.
I'll be at work.
Well, I know, but I'm not going because it was not worth it. So I guess I will go. It is a lovely, relaxing weekend at a beach, and then we also took another day off just because we had already scheduled it. And now I'm going to replicate Jeff's sentiment, but I am going to not use what was I thinking of your assistant, the drill sergeant?
Think of
whatever
your assistant.
Work. Oh,
Oh,
so this
that
is
was
I'm going
me.
to do the mentals dance of whatever that girl that sings the work song. That's me. I'm going to be doing a
Rihanna.
lot of
Beyond, yeah.
Right.
I was gonna say Beyonce. I was close. Rihanna.
Whatever, one of those girls. It's time for my annual United Way campaign. My last year as co-chair. It starts tomorrow, so I'm actively working, trying to get everything done to get it prepped for that, and also doing the rest of my work that I'm trying to do because my boss and team expects me to deliver on projects that are due very shortly after. Therefore, I am working all the time. But very fortunately, we got some big goals, but I think we're gonna make them. We have to make them, and I'm starting to lose sleep, have nightmares, all that good stuff. So you can talk to me on September 21st, and things will be better. So that's where I am.
I think I get out of work right around then too. So
Oh, good,
we'll hang out together.
awesome.
Yeah.
One update.
We'll cage the solstice.
Yes.
Yes. We
New race car. New race car.
Hey, make
New.
travel arrangements. And
Mental.
hey,
If you're saying something, we have no idea what it is.
We hear.
I fucked up on everybody.
Brr, brah, brr, brah, brr, brr.
Try turning off your video and going sorry. Maybe we can get.
That's fair. Okay.
So
All right.
okay.
Let's
try again, Mental. Let's try it again.
All right. So, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
Okay. So we all got the email today that said, "Hey, make your travel arrangements to SEMA." And Jeff said, "Does that mean we got our press passes?" And I went to check on the status, and it didn't recognize us in the system. So I emailed the company that's handling it, and they actually emailed me back and said, "Well, we found your application. Do you have any print work that's earlier than 2015?" I said, "No, I was shamelessly trying to beef up our resume." So I did make an impassioned plea. It's completely possible that they are listening to this episode, making the decision on whether or not we get to go to SEMA under press passes. In which case, I'm already sorry. So, but
we're so professional.
But people listen to our recommendations. Like, look at what we've done for hand-cooked tires and Raybestos brakes, for example.
Right?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
actually
We made ST43s a home number and name.
Yeah.
We actually have racing teams that are changing their name based on marketing trends that we've identified.
Yeah.
It is possible that
These are all truths.
They are really are.
All actual truths. We don't lie or edit.
They should totally sponsor us.
Right?
All of them.
Awesome.
Totally sponsor us, SEMA. Give us press passes.
All right. Other news and notes.
We have some more.
Yeah, we do. So Mark Hawa, the New Zealand founder of the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, has a new gearhead-related activity to focus on men's health. The DGR has brought thousands of motorcyclists together to highlight prostate cancer and men's suicide. Hawa says men do not talk enough about mental health issues, or cancer. To that end, he has established the Distinguished Gentleman's Drive, which will take place on the 31st of May, 2020. The plan is to bring owners of classic and exotic cars together to help stop men dying too young. Hawa added, a lot of people who tend to drive these sorts of cars are a little older. They've been through mental health issues and prostate cancer stress, so it's a good market for us to target. In the end, it's about connecting people.
Awesome. SEMA, hopefully you're listening, because we have this week's edition of Your Car is Trying to Kill You, and it is the Momo Quick Release Edition. If you have a black and red Momo race car quick release, this is not like the road version. This is the race car version. It seems, and I am quoting from the recall right now, the steering wheel adapter's quick release can activate inadvertently and cause the race car's steering wheel to suddenly detach from its steering column while the vehicle is in motion, rendering the vehicle impossible to steer and posing a crash hazard and risk of serious injury or death to the driver.
That's exciting.
September 5th, 2019. Link in the show notes. If you have a black and red disconnect, you might want to check that out.
I would argue that, because I think we've all had some version of that. It's certainly a pucker moment. But we're usually pretty good about getting that thing snapped back on there, and then on the radio, holy crap, I almost died.
Oh, that's
no, never had a quick release problem. It's only you, Mental.
Well, really, and we don't have, none of our cars usually have it unless we seriously need it. So because the Civic has such an awesome cage and you're able to get out of it, you can slide out before you get there. So we don't usually use them.
Awesome.
BMW has one, but whatever. Anyway, okay. Some from the Northeast Business desk. Young Chris Egan linked us a Facebook post from eEuroparts.com. You might have seen this as well. Late last week, eEuroparts.com was facing a permanent closure due to financial reasons, and asked the great team at New Parts Inc. for some help to keep the brand and website alive. New Parts Inc. was able to step in and take over at the last second. So this seems to be a positive move at first, but then they publicly pledged to keep loyalty programs, honor warranties, etc. But wait, there's more. Per Grassroots Motorsports, who is owed lots of advertising dollars by EURparts.com, they received a Chapter 7 bankruptcy liquidation notice that stated that there is no assets available to pay the creditors. SAA forum post on the subject was a lot more detail, including the potential for some shady dealing by the owner shortly before.
Sub forum. I missed the B when I typed.
Oh, okay. I apologize. Was dealing with by the owner shortly before the BK was filed. Link in our show notes if you want to read more, or if you've already read GRM, you might have seen it already.
That's a shame, because eEuroparts was actually one of the few people who was doing some sponsoring for the Lemons community.
Yeah, that's how we got that link, actually.
I bought so many parts for them for the various Saab 9000s I had over the years. They were great.
Are they a
also had
Saab
good Volvo
specialist?
selection too.
They started as like a Saab Volvo specialist, and then over the years they branched out into other things. And I not that long ago bought some Mercedes parts from them. So, but now it looks like I'm all FCP Euro or Rock Auto or Mercedes themselves. So
Hashtag all should totally sponsor us.
yeah,
Don't buy from Mercedes. In Tesla news, last month the Porsche Taycan.
Taycan.
I know
No, it's the Taycan.
Taycan.
We've discussed the
Taycan.
pronunciation of this
It's
vehicle
a
enough.
Taycan Turbo.
They set an EV record of 7 minutes and 42 seconds for a lap of the Nürburgring. Hot on the heels of that news, Elon Musk tweeted, because, he's Elon, Model S on the Nürburgring next week. That was on September 5th, hinting that they were going after the record. He even managed to secure F1 pilot Nico Rosberg via Twitter as well. You know what they didn't do? They didn't reserve any track time. Nürburgring knows nothing about them coming. It seems that this is, just like many people who tweet out there, lots of fake news.
They are going, but it's going during industry, and they are forbidden to go after track records during the industry access week.
Yeah, because you need to have it reserved privately for that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Elon Musk just didn't read the rule book.
So a little bit of Radwood news, double hit here over at the Drive. Chad Kirshner found himself a scoop. For a very brief time on Monday, Chevrolet's U.S. media site had an image in its photo galleries of a previously unseen small crossover labeled the 2020 Chevy Cavalier. That nameplate, once the pride of high school parking lots and the population of every Rust Belt junkyard, has been living in China actually as a sub-cruise model, but now it's going to head to Mexico, and I still argue it's better than the Blazer. But even bigger Radwood news just this morning on Twitter, former guest and Radwood co-founder Bradley Brownell announced that FCA is bringing the M4S concept car to Radwood, Detroit. I can see Chrissy going, what is the M4S?
I was about to say that. What
It's
the heck is the
also
M4S?
known as the Turbo Interceptor, star of an 80s Charlie Sheen film called The Wraith. It put out 800 horsepower from a mid-engine 2.2-liter four-cylinder turbo. Now, we've got a link to that tweet. We've got a fascinating article about the Turbo Interceptor and a brief YouTube video from the film, which featured not only Charlie Sheen, Sherilyn Fenn, but also Randy Quaid. That's right.
The Wraith is a quality movie if you haven't seen it. Chrissy, have you seen The Wraith?
Come on. I don't have time for this stuff.
I love The Wraith.
Exactly.
That is a terrible movie.
Ron
All
Howard's
right.
brother, it's fantastic.
Anyway, let's get to some racing news or semi-racing news. Quarter-mile correspondent and New Jersey Lemons buddy David Eccles is covering Hot Rod Magazine's Drag Week, all East Coast for 2019, and the third day of racing was like 10 miles from where I'm sitting right now. Today in Acco, New Jersey at Acco Speedway. That's September 11th. Much like every low buck endurance racing, Drag Week draws a ton of just bizarre vehicles. First run of the day was a 1919 Franklin, which won worst of show at the 28 Concours de Lemons in Georgia, and it laid down a blistering 30-second run at 36 miles an hour.
Wait, hang on. That's a 1919 Franklin that's up in New Jersey from Georgia.
From
Yes.
Florida, actually.
Yeah.
It came up from Florida, and it has been in the same family since it was purchased new.
That's pretty fun.
That's yeah. We don't know if they well, no, they have to drive it, right? To
Oh,
drag
yeah, no,
Week,
they
have to
drive that thing everywhere.
Yeah, they drive between tracks and drag race. It's kind of like one lap, but for drag racers.
Yeah.
So, anyway, there was a Tesla Model S with no interior that ran a 10.4. Lots of early 2.3 turbo Mustangs that were not fast. CTS V-Wagon, I assume, that was in the 11s. Here's some of the weirder stuff. A 73 Opel Ascanda brought over from Sweden by driver Magnus Frost. Sounds like a supervillain. He's from Sweden. His last name is Frost.
I am Magnus Frost.
Exactly.
The time of Venta is at hand.
Sounds like you made that up.
I know. The Opel, I don't know what this is. It says it is a tiny two-door sedan stuffed with way too much motor and tire.
The Opel's the same one as the Buick Opel that runs in Lemons. The little tiny two-door.
Oh, the Escada?
That's a Cadet.
Is that?
Yeah.
Scana
yeah, that
is a
was a
different
cadet.
thing than a cadet.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, no, okay. The Scana, yeah, it's a slightly. I believe that might be the 4-door version.
It's,
Well,
yes,
whatever
it's
it
not
did.
the Manta. It's not the GT.
The Manta.
No,
that's
the
right.
Manta was a 2-door low one, but the Scanta I think is a 4-door cadet.
Who can tell? It's
I
all
think it's-
Opal.
Yeah.
We'll
exactly.
Google it. Everybody
It's-
Google it
it's-
at home.
I think it's one step larger than the cadet. That's what it looks like.
Okay. Well,
Yes, it's a D segment car.
I don't know what that means.
Um,
Anyway, this one had nothing to do with a regular Manta, a regular Opal, because it had some giant motor in it, and it ran in the frickin' 7s, and then spewed oil all over the track, shutting it down for over an hour. Tube frame, fiberglass body, sort of looks like a Camaro Unlimited class cars that kept running 6 seconds at over 200 miles an hour. One of them ran a 6.19 at 239, which is, that's really freaking fast, but you have to understand, they have to drive this across country. So that means they were driving in this car. They drove it to ATCO from wherever last night's stop was. That's crazy. Mike Finnegan from Roadkill was there with the Blasphemy, his 55 Chevy with a Hemi engine with a big supercharger on it. Tony Angelo of Hot Rod Garage fame. Roadkill production crew was there shooting footage, so it'll be in an upcoming episode. David made sure that he gave him a good taste of South Jersey by plying them with some Wawa coffee. Mike and the Blasphemy ran an 8.85, which is a little slower than usual, but they didn't break the car, so that counts as a win.
It's a long week.
Yeah. Yet.
Yeah.
That is a bucket list event for just about everybody in the drag world.
Sure.
Hint on the main topic coming up very soon.
Speaking of things that are upcoming, Lemons is double tapping it this weekend. So they're going to be at CMP and High Plains Raceway for Carolina Motorsports Park. 98 cars, 11 BMWs. Boring. 4 Miatas, 8 Hondas, 2 P cars, and a 1996 Buick Estate wagon.
One of those P cars will be a good friend of ours, right?
Indeed.
Yep.
Aha.
So some of the good Knox Vegas, they're always great with either the Hoopty-Corn or the Geo if they can hold them together with those Duritex. Grim Reaper Mustangs usually top 10, which is amazing for a V6 Mustang, but they're always there.
Good pit stops on them too.
Yep. Super Westfield Brothers, they're usually up in the top 10. Greg Biffle's coming in Hot Crown Vic, dominated B last time at the 24, so I think he's getting A solidly now. Terminally Confused is always a player in B, even when I'm not there. And I think everyone's going to have to watch out in B for the new marketing geniuses at Matt Ferenchuk Motorsports, a.k.a. Silent But Deadly Racing. And
Obviously a
the
listener.
Long Roof Thunderbird.
Hi, Matt.
So wait a minute. Did Matt change his name?
Yes.
Yes,
just,
he did.
just to piss off this podcast?
Yes,
Sounds
he did.
like
No, I think that's a trend. I think everyone is going to just start naming.
It's a terrible idea.
Terrible idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need a
I saw that.
rule. If your race team is the name of you do not get read on air.
Yep.
Oh.
But Matt has to get grandfathered in on that one.
Yes, he does.
Both the Matts, the 2 Matts that we know, yeah.
All right, so Sputnik will be there in his Access. I don't know why anyone would ever bring a Nissan Access to a road race, but hey,
Have you met Sasha?
I know. I was gonna say that's Sasha in a nutshell. Laundered Money in their Buick wagon. That's kind of cool. Rally Fart has a 1992 Eagle Talon, and I am pushing for you guys. And Debut, I already mentioned it. Sorry for Party Racing has a 944.
It's not the debut.
It's not the debut.
It's
Oh,
not.
no.
It,
Oh, that's
it
right.
failed a couple of races.
It was,
went
it was
at
at the 24, and they blew a motor and put another one in, and that blew up, and
It
Porsche
has, a new,
life.
it has a new paint job. That's the thing. That's what it's got. So some more funny ones. Duff Beer's Stag Party is back for another textbook example of how to drive a slow car fast. Not fast. Do you even race, bro? In their Pontiac G6.
Another rule. If your race team has 3 dots in it,
Yes.
you absolutely get red.
Okay.
Because this
Look
is
at you, team
do you
waiting for
even
data.
do you even race? ... Bro.
And this is Chris's ad because he liked this one. if we knew what we were doing, we would probably be doing something else racing in a Volvo. Awesome.
Yep. And, there's no way we can get through talking about CMP without a plug for Kurt's Butt. Bring sides, bring money. Lemons of Love will take it and do nice things with it. Eat Kurt's Butt. Have a good time. Camaraderie. Good times had by all.
You got the best butt in the whole world.
You know where to find it.
That is a great butt plug.
It is. I know. We couldn't resist.
And that's when SEMA stopped listening. Now, in addition to that, up in High Plains Raceway, I believe this is the it's not the Get Your Fill, it's the other version of it, but Lemons up there, 46 cars for this one, 10 BMWs. Boring. 3 Miatas, 4 Hondas, no Porsches, and a Renault Le Car.
Hell yeah. And I believe that one is a mid-engine Nissan V6 out of a Maxima or something like that.
There is no fail. There's no fail in that.
Yeah, it's been running for a couple years, and its fail level has varied from some to a lot. So,
go ahead, Chris, just start going. Do the good cars.
Yeah, okay. So some potentially good ones. So Fast and a boring BMW, Tetanus and Onset, even a Le Car. Who knows? I think what's the team with the Miata with the Cadillac motor? They're there too.
Oh yeah, the Miatalac.
Oh, property devaluation. That's
yeah. I think that
thing is way faster than a Miata with a Cadillac 4100 ever has a right to be.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
4100?
Which has been one of the most
terrible
bulletproof
motor.
Right, except in Lemons, like the Alpha V6, the Cadillac 4100 is a good endurance racing motor. Who knew?
All right. So the adventurous Jan Bon Jovi, not John Bon Jovi, but Jan, in an Eclipse. I love the DSMs. 2 separate Z teams, Pistola Alto and aptly named Polish Turd. Finally, Volante Ram in a supercharged MR2 because nothing says supercharged. Nothing says endurance like supercharged.
Volatile
yeah.
Ram. Volatile.
Oh, volatile Ram.
Instead of Volante. Wow.
So that was a perfect good joke that you would just absolutely ruin. So nothing says endurance like first induction at altitude.
Yeah.
Volatile Ram in their supercharged MR2 because nothing says endurance like forced induction at altitude.
Yay.
It helps if you read the copy. I'm
sure if I wear my
I'm going to mess
glasses.
it up. You don't have glasses.
I do. I have readers now.
Oh, you're an old man.
Oh. So Proby Probe base in a BMW. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. It's in a probe. And dropped packet racing, which I'm sure there is a story.
Now, in addition to the Lemons team, AER is going to be at Summit Point, which we miss, for 2 9-hour races on Saturday and Sunday. 56 cars, 31
pretty good.
BMWs.
56 cars.
So boring.
So boring.
6 Miatas, 1 very lonely Honda, 7 P cars, and an 88 Mercury Cougar.
So some of the good, hey, Dan Sykes and the crew with Big Red, that is way faster than a old 5 Series has a right to be. Krabby Kraut usually does well in the lower classes. And, hey, the marketing genius of Matt Connolly Motorsports will be there. Oh, not quite as good as Silent But Deadly Matt Ferenczak Racing. But,
I thought we banned them. The Adventurous, it's not Drunken Squirrel's first race with their Cougar, but it takes a special team to run that Cougar so damn fast. So don't panic in their E30, but they're hedging a bet that with an E36 M3, because if you're going to AER, you might as well bring an E36 M3. RTI Racing is bringing their 370Z, and only suckers race Zs, so that's why they're here.
Mm-hmm.
Who's we? I don't get it. We need to send that. It's great that somebody's bringing a sense of humor that's not like Matt Connolly Motorsports. Worst case scenario and lowbrow. All of them are bringing Porsche 944s.
That's cool.
Yes.
Yep. So, listener feedback time?
Listener feedback.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry. Listener!
No.
Don't
We were
yell.
done.
Don't
We were
yell.
done. We were done, Jeff. We were done. It was a great segue.
So last week, Jeff posted a picture of a car that confused him a bit. To be fair, has been working a lot lately, and every time he gets one of those kids' paddle toys, it's warped. It's such a shame.
See, Chrissy doesn't even get the jokes. No,
this one's warped.
He's out to the boys.
I do know. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Now, I actually didn't realize it was an option. You could order those for your SS. I figured it was an eBay swap, but thanks for the info there, Chris S.
For those who didn't click, we should mention that it was a Holden badge.
Oh, I'm getting there.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. All right. So
you should read the copy, Jeff.
No, but I think we should say that first and then talk.
Okay, it was a Holden. You should just listen to last week's show. Dan B called it quick on the IG. He said Holden package is typically an option on the SS. I've seen several at Charlotte Motorsports Speedway. So some people actually got it right. And Dr. F.M. Donnie should have gone with the Vauxhall batches because they really throw people off since they were sold under that banner too. It's a shame that GM didn't market these and hope that their success in motorsports would sell them.
Mm-hmm.
So are we pretending that Dr. F.M. Donnie and Donnie P are two different people? Am I supposed to like?
Apparently.
Donnie P says as if it's a totally different person. And because I feel like ruining this more for Jeff, in Australia you get it with an LS and a Tremec, which is pretty cool. And in a long roof as the Commodore SSV. And then I Googled a picture of it. A manual SS wagon. It was upside down, of course, because he said that was Australia. But it made me drool and breathe a little heavy. It was amazing. I wanted it.
Then he put in a link to the. He said, if you like that, the left-handed ukes. And Jeff went, "Oh, Crux don't do anything for me, but they do very much excite me."
Oh, you like that?
Yes.
What is it with the utes in Australia? I mean, we all know what they are. Chrissy, do you know what a ute is? An Australian ute?
No.
El Camino.
Yes, they are still building El Camino-like vehicles in Australia, and they sell a buttload of them.
Actually, no, nobody's building them anymore. Nobody makes cars in Australia anymore.
Really?
Last year or 2 years ago, yeah, the last Ford plant shut down.
There had to be some sort of tax loophole that kept them popular in Australia.
I think it was more cultural. Like after,
yeah.
After some war, then you needed a car that you could go to church on Sunday and then also haul some stuff. But gas is more expensive than it is here, so it's not a pickup truck. So utes.
Yeah, absolutely, very cultural.
All right. XX Speed is headed to the Midwest next weekend. Raceway Park of the Midlands, as well as Nelson's Ledges. Yes, I pluralized that on purpose. On the same weekend. They're doing two on the same weekend. I didn't know that.
They're doing several of the double taps this year.
That's good. Then they're off to Pacific Raceways, followed by Portland International. Make plans to ride with Mental or pay extra. Not at Wild Horse Pass in Arizona this November. In December, he will join the XX team at Driveway in Austin, Texas. Choose your car, choose your track, choose your date. Just remember to use the code Everyone Racers, no spaces, Everyone Racers, and get 25% off. Extreme Experience. It's your turn.
You know who would ride with Mental even if she had to bribe everyone at XX with cookies? Chrissy's mom.
Hi, Carol.
Mom.
I would love that.
And sister, and who else listens? Dad?
All of them. Yeah, they all
them.
listen.
So we mentioned it earlier, or I mentioned it earlier, and we're going to do an interesting topic today, and we're going to hear from everyone because everyone has a bucket list, even you. We're talking about the bucket list this week. What is the things that you just got to do in your future at one point? And we're talking about passion projects here. Are you willing to, sell some blood or plasma or miss that nephew's second birthday or whatever it is? What are the events and experiences out there that you just so got to do at some point? You're going to do it no matter what it costs, no matter what it costs you. Bucket list. Everybody get it?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, here it is. I'm throwing out a bunch of questions. We put a bunch of them in the social media, and a bunch of our listeners chimed in. Michael K. already mentioned he's working on one of his bucket lists, and he says he wants a racing event where he is just the coordinator. watching a group of disabled veterans win Class C in a Chrysler and towing it with his Dodge van support thing. He's already working on campaigning it in the 3-4 Midwest Southwest races next year. He's very excited. He's moving from behind the steering wheel to management.
Okay, good on him. It sounds like a fun
awesome.
thing to do. That's great, enabling that kind of thing.
I
Justin
wonder
H.
if it's... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I wonder if it's the same, like, is he taking the same guys around the country, or is he offering it to different people?
I think he's
should ask
offering it to different people. That's why it's being developed as a differently abled car.
Cool. Well, we'll follow that next year as he does
Absolutely.
it. So Justin H., the new owner of the Chinook, which is a fine racing machine, he wants to have the fastest house at the strip, the quickest house at the track, and the lowest house at the show. Hashtag attainable goals. And given his background in mini trucks and being a homeowner and having a race Chinook, I think he'll do all right. Follow that on Instagram, Race Chinook. Well done.
Awesome. We are still already following that Instagram handle because it was hilarious. So
it's gotten funnier.
It's gotten funnier. Well, I haven't seen it lately, so I'll have to check it out.
I mean, no one without a sense of humor would buy the race Chinook. So,
but Toyota trucks are so awesome. What could make it more awesome? A camper
and a roll cage.
Duh.
Is that thing stick?
And soon to be probably
Of course it is.
airbags.
It's like a 73. Toyota didn't make automatics then.
Oh.
No, it's a stick.
Cool.
I think it's a 20R in that one. It's like the original. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to throw out some ground rules before we move on. Everything must be moderately attainable unless I say, like no holds barred. We're going to go around the table. We are going to say our opinions, and then we're going to do some listener feedback on each one of these. I think we have listener feedback on most of them. Some of the new ones we might throw out don't. So we'll go around the table. We'll start with an easy one. What is your bucket list race or automotive event that you will participate in? Obviously, we all want to be in the 24-hour Le Mans, but we ain't making it. What is an event you can actually participate in? Mental.
So I'm going to steal some listener feedback. Dr. Florida Man Donnie mentioned he wants to run the Baja 1000, and I actually do want to run one of those open races too. I don't think I'm ready to jump in straight at the 1000. I know they have a 500, and they've got some smaller open road desert events. Highly attainable because I live out here now where a lot of this stuff happens. So absolutely, I would love to do that.
Just go watch Dust to Glory, and then you'll have a Beetle in no time.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Well, tell us what you're talking about. What do you want to do, Chrissy?
Laguna was definitely on this bucket list for a racetrack. Done. Check. Ta-da. Also on there was VIR. You're stealing why are you all stealing each other's stuff? VIR and Watkins Glen are on that list. Every time we go to an HPD and people say, "Oh, have you been there?" "Oh, it's just like this corner." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I haven't been there."
It's like I've been to 26 racetracks.
Right, and I'm like, "Oh, have you been to the
one.
bridge?
Sorry.
Oh, it's so great." And then they're just like, "Oh, but VIR," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, fine." And so I'm also adding the streets of Ensenada. I think we're talking about this because it just sounds epic, and so I'm adding that to my list.
Nice. Chris.
I think I'm doing pretty well on this. Like, I've done one lap. I've done Laguna Seca. I've done the GRM Challenge. Going to the Glen soon. So, I mean, this is all good stuff. I'd like to try VIR, Thunderhill, and Coda, and Daytona just because, even though I understand Daytona kind of sucks to drive.
Can I interrupt?
It does not.
You're listing,
is so great.
You're listing tracks.
Yeah.
I said events.
Oh, well, I don't care which event at those tracks. How about that? Fine. And if I can do HPDEs at those tracks or in, reasonable endurance races, and that'll be fine. Those are all reasonable. Unfortunately, Target Newfoundland is no more. So
I had no idea.
I know.
So upset at this news.
Apparently.
This is real?
Yeah, from what I heard. I think fairly recent. They're just not doing it again. Keith Tanner was talking about it on the GRM board. So,
I have to go to the GRM board more often. and miss that.
I love watching that. We watched a documentary. Oh, look, I watched something. Ta-da! That should be a bingo night. Bingo thing. Actually,
no one will ever get that one.
I know. It's like this. Yes. So we watched a documentary about that, about Targa, I think.
Yeah. I used to watch it on like ESPN. So since Targa Newfoundland is dead, which I just heard about now, I'll say Targa Panamera, because I'll do the same thing just in Mexico. Got to do it Targa.
Or
awesome.
Targa was it Tasmania?
That's a little further away.
Yeah, I can't drag a car there. All right. So what is your bucket list race or automotive event that you won't participate in? So something that you won't actually be driving or wrenching or whatever, something you want to watch. Who's got one? Chrissy, why don't you start this one?
Oh, sorry, my mic's not on. So I'm going along with Chris on his, actually, but I answered mine first, so I will go with this, but I'm also going on his bucket list event. I would like to go to Barrett-Jackson or something like that. A long time ago, before I met you fools, I used to watch it a lot, and it's sometimes there's really fun stories behind the cars, and I think I just like to see what it's about. Not buy a car, just
I watch it too. I watch a lot of that.
It's really good as a background, and I say the because there's the new Mecum.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Mecum.
Yeah. So yes, there's just I think it might be interesting.
Well, it's interesting because Mecum now goes all over the place. Isn't there a big Mecum in Hershey?
All of those guys, Mecums, Barrett, they all travel all across the country doing those big ones. And there's a third company that's they're doing one in because there's a Barrett in Florida and there's a Barrett in Arizona.
That's all
they've actually done one out here in Vegas, and there's a new company that did the one for the Amelia Island concourse.
Yeah.
I don't know who that, but I'm with Chrissy. Especially in a bar, if they're showing golf or fishing or something stupid, I ask them to turn it on to anything involving cars, and it usually ends up on a.
It's not a bad thing to watch.
Auto auction. No.
Try to rotate through very expensive old cars, and sometimes they'll just flip through the supercars and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well then you can watch how many fire Kudastangs get auctioned off.
Sure.
I used to always really like is they had Steve Magnetti on there, and he always knew the most obscure stuff about all those cars.
Totes.
Okay. Le Mans. Duh.
Yeah.
And
you're right.
We're going next year, so there's
that.
We
are.
We haven't told the internet. We haven't told the people that
we're
yet.
Telling them now. We're going next year, so we're doing that. Then maybe Speed Week at Bonneville, because I've heard that's a pretty neat thing. A lot of ingenuity and interesting stuff. Just bring your really, really good glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm on that one. Totally. Go ahead, Mental. Give us your list.
Something to spectate. I'd really like to go to SEMA. Really like to go to SEMA, Joan. Joan, if you're listening, really would like to bring my friends to SEMA.
I mean, you can go. You could just have to pay for it.
No, you can't.
No,
you
industry
can't.
only.
Yeah. Industry only.
I didn't realize
can't buy
you
tickets to SEMA.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
That's not open to the public.
Hey, I'm involved in the automotive industry. I wonder if I could get it. Insurance. I think Steve the dishwashing fairy has been because of because he works for the insurance company.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He has been.
Oh, I'm jealous now. SEMA's definitely on my list. Speed Week in Bonneville, absolutely on my list. I am probably never going to be able to get the hall pass to go to France for a week without taking the family. And if we go to France for the week for the family, we're not watching a car race. So I'm going to say 24 hours in Daytona, probably much more attainable by me, and definitely something I'm willing to give up a lot for. Awesome.
That's a good one.
Let's talk road trips. All right. What is your bucket list road trip? Where are you going? What are you doing? We're going to talk about the car in a little bit. Where are you going? What are you doing? Don't mention the car unless the car is specific.
I think, Jeff, you should start this one. You haven't started
Yes, please.
So I would love to replicate the cross-country trip that I did between grad school and my first job. And it was out west it basically was a meandering route between camping and hiking location and camping and hiking location. And some of the cool things we did the Corn Palace in Mitchell, Wall Drug. We did some awesome hikes in southern Utah, northern Arizona, northern New Mexico. Ask me what Colorado was like. I don't know. It was dark. You know, me and my best friend, we just kind of went. We stayed off the grid. We slept in the car. We did everything we could to stay away from the RV set. And we did some fantastic hiking, and I would love to do that again. So that's my trip. We ended up in Philomath, Oregon, and went down the northern chunk of the PCH into the Redwood Forest and checked out the banana slugs. It was awesome.
Banana slugs?
Yes, banana slugs. A slug this big.
So you go to the other side of the country to go see some slugs?
You didn't go to see the slugs. The slugs were just there, and you're like, holy shit, look at that.
Okay. It sounds like really a lot of fun.
So riveting.
Let me say, there are two parts of this country that I never thought would be so gorgeous, and it's the Pacific Northwest, which was amazing, and the southwestern part of the, like northern New Mexico. You'd think it's a desert, and it's not. It is gorgeous. I mean, it is a desert, but it is a gorgeous desert. Yeah. So if you've never been to, the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta,
I think I left there once.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Most of the West is prettier than most of the East in general. And all of the middle. Yeah.
I was just kidding with you. Oh, I was thinking something West Coast. I was saying more of PCH. Didn't do a whole, I guess we've done it a couple times, but not the whole thing.
Yeah, we've done a whole lot of bits of it, but...
Yeah. I don't know that I want to do the whole thing. I don't have a definitive answer for this. Something West Coast. Route 66 just because it's iconic, but there might be something better than that. So I don't have a really great answer for this. I like the road trips like we're planning on one for 2 weeks from now. And it has a whole lot of roads that have squigglies instead of straight lines. And that sounds like a fun road trip to me. But that's not bucket list. I'm sorry. I don't have a good answer.
I just looked ahead at Chris's, and now I'd like to change my answer. Chris, go ahead.
I'm thinking the Alcan Highway.
Yeah. Why didn't I think of that?
Because it's so different than anything else I've ever done, and it gets you to Alaska that I've never been. So that seems like a bucket list kind of event. If something a little closer might be north to south in the Rockies, all on BC roads. Like you start in New Mexico or Arizona, you work your way up to Montana to Glacier. That seems like a fun time. And some of those, you'll see some amazing different landscapes doing that and see some interesting places. I mean, I would love to do north-south of all of North and South America, but I don't want to die at all that bit in the middle that things are not going well.
Well, the Alcan Highway is probably one of the last bastions that you might not make it. You might not die, but your car's probably going to be partially destroyed.
Worse for wear, right?
Yeah.
There's not rival horrible gang warfare and poverty and et cetera things in between where if your car breaks, you might not have it or
literally die. Yeah.
It's kind of like the Grapes of Wrath, which I did read.
Yes. Okay, Mental. How about you?
So I'm feeling pretty blessed. Now, I have not done the Alcan. That's the one on there. But I've done, like you said, I've done a lot of bits of the PCH. I've done a lot of bits of B&C roads from New Mexico towards Montana. And you're absolutely right. It's worth it. Route 66, it's as cool as you want it to be. And there's especially if you're into a little bit of camp and a little bit of history, that's fantastic. And I've done most of that. I never really set out to do road trips. I did that one that Jeff did across South Dakota, drove out from Omaha, Nebraska twice to across South Dakota all the way out to the West Coast. I just enjoy road trips, and I don't know what my next cool one is, but I know it's out there and I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
Nice. So, all right. So now we're going to talk about some cars.
Hang on, Mental. I think now that you're out in the desert, you got to do some desert stuff. Like,
Yes.
there's a lot. Like I've just been bored at work occasionally over the years and Google mapped Nevada, and there's so many places that like you find the spot that's the furthest from any town. And
Yes.
just pick that and go. I'm gonna go there.
The
see what
loneliest road in
happens.
America is out here. I
Yeah.
did ride down before they changed the name. I rode down the haunted freeway in New Mexico, Route 666, and there was no one on it. It was impressive.
Well, when you take your broken E46 and lift it, cut the fenders, and put some knobby tires on it, you can start doing some exploring.
Well, it's funny. We said a bucket list event, and none of us said the gambler.
I don't know. I feel like that's like so attainable. It's almost too attainable, as opposed to something you're really striving for.
All right, I get that. Cool.
You did say I have to give up
out here.
plasma.
I'm totally going to do a gambler.
I did say passion, something that's out there, and use some stretch goals. All right. So we've all done cross-country trips. We've all done them for fun. We've all done them for sport, including Babe rallies and things like that. So what is your bucket list crap can rally car? If we had to go on a crap can rally next summer, what would you be shopping for right now? This is a car, in case you don't know, that you'll pay no money for and live in it for a cross-country trip. So you got to fix it. You got to survive in it. You got to have fun in it. All of that must be considered. Find it on Craigslist. Go. Chris, you start this one.
I, too, like to live dangerously. So
I'm very surprised by this.
I'm going to say
I love this first one.
a
I can't believe
Porsche
you said that.
928.
Can't
Because
believe you
it's
said
a
that.
big, awesome GT car that when it's going to work great, and when it doesn't, it's going to suck, but it's going to be fun to have and do. So I always wanted one. The prices are going up. That or a W108 Mercedes, because they just exude class, and I love the interiors on them. It's just such a great looking interior, and they cruise pretty well too.
You better get the 928, so every day I can look at you and go, okay, who's the U-boat commander?
There has never been a time since we've relocated here that there has not been a 928 on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist for less than $1,000.
We don't need another
and
car.
none of them run.
No.
But it's complete, needs fuel pump.
Radwin Park.
Full pump.
Full pump.
Full
C-O-M-P.
This sounds like a terrible idea.
Mental has a really long list, so let's go to Chrissy next.
Oh, I thought a lot about this, and I'm still struggling with what I want for this. I think it should be a convertible. I keep coming back to the Miata. It was a little small. I put MX-5 here, not thinking that it had to be actual crap can. So I guess we'll go and can I get an NB? I'd like an NB.
Yeah, you can get crappy
It'd be a
NBs.
crappy NB, yeah.
Okay, I'll get a crappy NB.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I mean, crappy NAs are the same price as crappy NBs these days. Actually, they're all the same price pretty much.
Yeah, but I don't want the crappy. They're going to be different levels of crappy, I think.
Really, I mean, I honestly foresee a time when the NAs are going to be more expensive than the NBs.
Sure, yeah, they're going to go.
Very
always.
soon.
Absolutely. So I think I'm going convertible. I can be convinced, but I am going Miata for the easy answer. And if I come up with something better, I will let you know.
I
Well,
think you'd
Chrissy
like
and I.
Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme convertible.
No.
Now, that's a
No.
crap can rally car.
No.
Wait, does
No.
they
it is.
come in a convertible?
Yeah, and it had 4 bucket seats.
That
and
sounds
it
like
was-
it sounds like a terrible idea.
It was one of
No.
those like terrible GM cars that no one knows exists.
Chrissy, as soon as I get my batteries fixed for my reciprocating saw, every car can be a convertible.
Are you Sasha? This is
Citroen
not
SM
something-
convertible.
I mean, sure. It just doesn't. You have to put a tarp on it, and that sounds like a terrible idea.
Hey, Chrissy and I have done cross-country rallies in Miatas, and really the only downside is like the storage ability for
Yeah.
your clothes and things.
Completely. You just have to
Or
be
the-
really selective of what
comfortable
you bring.
cruising at 80 plus. Like
Nah, you get
I
used
don't
to
know.
that.
I thought it was fine.
Little earplugs.
you told me
Why
to
with
not
slow
Chris.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with Chris on that one because you're even at that speed with earplugs. You're always wondering what's rattling loose.
Well, you could
you
do
do that
80,
on any car.
but you can't do
Every
83.
crap cam.
Okay.
Like that's the limit.
Every
All right,
crap
well,
can
so-
rally car
Yeah.
has something that's going to shake apart.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the idea.
I misread this initially with the and I didn't get the no money factor. So I'd put down like a Honda Beat or a Nissan Figaro or a Suzuki Cappuccino, one of those little tiny convertible K
I had-
You
cars.
just want
don't
to
even know
do
that's a
redline the
thing.
entire country. That's it.
Exactly. But with the no money, I want a big 4-door boat that I'm going to weld up the doors and cut the roof off.
Fair enough.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is interesting. I might change my mind to MX-5, but no, I'm gonna change it. Long roof is a must. If you're gonna get something stupid, make it a long roof. If you gotta fix it, make it American. So I think I want a Scout too.
You can't have two. It doesn't say
Oh,
two.
no.
So you have a Scout.
No, a number two. A
Scout two.
Not
a
in
73
also.
to 8. Sorry, a 71 to 80 Scout, International Scout, because I know every single nut and bolt in those things, but you can't touch them for cheap money anymore.
You're still pissed your mom scrapped yours.
I know.
Hey, she saved the steering wheel.
The steering wheel doesn't help, Mom. You get rid of the car.
You know what? You could sit in a little basket and you could go.
Triggered. Okay. A little triggered by this conversation. No, honestly, I was looking at Scouts recently, and you can't even touch the crappy ones for Babe Rally money. So I'm going to go with like a Caprice wagon. I think that would be cool. Something, a Pontiac Safari.
Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser.
Vista Cruiser. Absolutely.
Oh God, if you can find a Vista Cruiser.
Yeah.
Thank you,
All right.
that 70s show.
So if you had no budgetary restrictions other than your own bank accounts, so you know, like, you know what? Screw the bank account. You had somebody else's money, and you're renting it for the week, and it was only going to cost you and one arm and one leg, not both arms and both legs. What would be the interesting piece to drive across country?
I feel like this should be something you buy on your own salary, like
All
you know,
right.
because everyone goes,
Wait, I thought it says
Paganda.
non-budget restricted
Well,
on
we can
it.
double
Right.
it up. We can do an unlimited
Okay, we'll do
budget
both. Well,
and
sure,
a reasonable budget.
Okay, let's do reasonable budget first. Around the horn. Chris.
One of the two cars I already own actually would be perfect for this. The CLS is designed to cross continents, and it does it very well. It's a delightful road trip car. And the NSX would be more fun for the twisty bits with the top off. It doesn't have the storage room, but also, who doesn't want to do a cross-country road trip in an NSX? Like,
legit.
So we're leaving tomorrow.
yeah.
Start packing. Which keys are you grabbing?
Where
We are
we're going.
going. Let's say where we're going. We are going from your house in Birdsboro, Craplakistan, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
to
My house.
Mental's house in Vegas, spending a couple days, driving home.
It is a balmy 76 degrees right now. In fact,
I don't
it's not
believe it.
It has not gotten over 100 this week.
Ah.
If
It's
we're
going
doing
to
a-
be,
if
it's
we're
going to
doing
be
a-
in the 60s tonight.
If we're doing a bonsai trip like that, it's got to be the Mercedes. It's just
Absolutely.
better at it.
Absolutely.
If it was we're going to take 2 weeks and work our way across the country doing fun things, then it's the NSX because it's more better for the fun things.
Oh,
Even though
I
it's
don't-
not as good at it. I know. See, the Mercedes is so good. Well, okay, honey, what would you think?
I would go Mercedes as well. It's the you just can't fit anything in the NSX. It has no door pockets. It's got no place for anything in the cab and the trunk. If I'm gonna wear a bikini every day, then sure. But like, it's really not. It doesn't
Well, we
do
could
well.
fit one bag each, and one cooler, and one beach bag, and one like snack bag. That's all that fits in the trunk, as we've proven many times.
Yes.
But yeah, the lack of interior storage space is a concern. Although we would just take the owner's manuals out and have a little. Tiny
I
bit.
can put. So now I can put a brownie in my glove compartment.
Yep.
I mean, like, that's about it.
All right.
All right.
So that's the
I-
realistic version answer.
I like Chris's answer. Chrissy, do you have a different answer?
Skip me. Go to
You mental go.
Couple of years ago, Chris, when you were early stages of shopping for the NSX. You mentioned the Mondials, and that was now granted it still needs a lot of attention, but it's the last generation of Ferrari you could work on in your own car in your own garage with enough patience. And at least twice a month, I find myself searching for Mondials, and they're still, I don't want to say affordable, but doable.
Yeah. Occasionally you find the white on white Coke dealer special, which is even better.
Exactly. And it's going to be one of those cars that I would like to have, and then I would lose a little bit of money on it, but I would probably buy it, drive it for a year, and then take it to a Meekham's auto auction and just sell it at no reserve, and take the hit and say, oh yeah, I've had a Ferrari.
What's the reliability on that? So I mean, maybe I'm
80s Ferrari reliability.
I mean, I know the answer.
What's the parts availability?
Right?
Yeah.
Nil.
It's having
the
looked
local flap does not want to be able to service your Mondial.
Having looked into this bit, the local flaps also can't get parts for the NSX, except the ones it shares with that 87 Legend. But
and you don't know which ones they are.
Find, right? That generation is one of the most reasonably easy to get DIY parts for, because they made enough of them over the years. And reliability, if you just spend a little time driving it first just to work the bugs out, they're pretty decent from what I understand. So
I was going to say, every idiot on YouTube is rebuilding a Gallardo or other 2000s Lamborghini. So how hard could these cars really be?
Everyone with a 308 or 328 is just driving it.
Yeah.
There's an
We're
instructor down in New Orleans who's got a beat to crap 308, and he will put that thing sideways at the drop of a hat, and he parks it outside.
Cool.
But,
all right, Jeff, what do you think for your this realistic life?
I am in Chris's camp. I will grab the keys of a car that is currently in my driveway, and I'll take the Corvette. The C6 Corvette has extremely long legs. It is pleasant as hell to drive on the highway at speed. It's fun in the twisties, and it's a mother frickin' hatchback, so I can put as much crap as I need in it.
And yours is a Targa, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yes, very nice. That's a great car.
All right, so let's try the
Chrissy
not
didn't
your money.
answer yet. No, Chrissy didn't answer yet.
Oh, I think I'm going long roof. Still undecided though. I'm honoring your ideas, but I'm annoyed with the lack of space in the NSX to be able to take that as a thing.
How about
so I think I'm going
XF Sport Brake, honey?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe so. I haven't driven it yet, but yes, that sounds like a lovely idea.
Didn't they do an AMG 63 wagon?
They do, the E63 wagon.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that because that's on my list of actually attainable ideas here. So yeah, maybe that.
Cool.
Go longer.
All right. Does anyone have a non-automotive lifestyle event that you might participate? Oh, go on.
Aren't we doing a round two
that's
of
right.
that?
Yeah.
Of
round
not
two.
your
Round
money?
two. You're right. Not your money car. I haven't written this down yet, but I think Chris has something he wants to say, so go ahead and say it.
I'd go Mercedes S63 Cabriolet.
Oh, that is a damn good choice.
It is a 600 horsepower big boat, but it can hustle. And if I want to go hammer down and quiet, I put the roof up. If I want to have fun, I put the roof down and put all the modes in sport and crap, and I'll have a good time. There we go.
Yeah,
that is a damn good choice. Mental, what do you got?
Well, I figure if it's money, no object, it's going to be at least reliable, or I've got a parts truck following me. So I'm going to say Jaguar XKE convertible.
Good
nice.
V12 manual. Yeah.
I am honoring both of these ideas and taking them as my own. So I will take one of those two, and I'll just do that.
I don't know. I think if I was going to do this and it was no budget, probably a Resto Mod American muscle car, probably a white Challenger, just because.
Oh yeah, no, throw that. I get it.
Yeah. Like, if you're gonna dream about white line fever, why not do one from one of your favorite movies and just get out there and pretend that you're driving away from the world? Maybe an Eleanor. I don't know. Resto Mod American muscle car of
absolutely Officer Kowalski.
Yes, thank you. Cool. So let's talk about a non-automotive bucket list. Is there an event or an experience or something out there that you want to do that maybe doesn't have a motor that's on your bucket list? I think Chris has got one of these.
My first thought was Burning Man. Never done it. It sounds completely different, but interesting and fun. So there's that. It's either that or sail across an ocean or several, because I've sailed north-south like a bunch, but never to a different continent, really.
So I have this
around
affliction. Once every other year, I read a book about some sort of like naval disaster. I've read about like the sinking of the Essex, and I've read about the thing that became the perfect storm. And every time after I read that, I say, I need a sailboat in the open ocean. So I am so there with you.
No, you read the crashing books, and then we're like, yeah, let me do that.
No, totally.
That sounds like
There's
a
this
terrible
one,
idea.
I can't remember the name of it. A modern crew of young people took a reproduction tall ship that was like the SS Baltimore, and they totally almost all died, and it was fan-frickin-tastic. And afterwards I was like, tall ship, let's go to the tall ships, let's see that. So
You're insane.
No,
If I ever win the lottery, I'm totally just getting like a 90-foot sailboat and just sailing that around the world and then flying to various races from wherever I happen to be at the time. Sounds like a good time.
Have your seaplane come meet you.
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay.
Meta, got one?
I'm torn on this one. I would love to do New Year's Eve in Times Square, but I'm told you have to get there like at 9 o'clock in the morning. And that doesn't bother me because it's going to be one of those once-in-a-lifetime events, but I always think about where am I going to get coffee and where am I going to go to the bathroom?
Oh, yeah. So are the other 95,000 people that are standing with you. They
So
have the same problem.
I think the key would be is make friends with someone in one of those office buildings. So you get there early, get a power nap in, then overlook the festivities from like 2-3 floors up.
At the cocktail party.
Yeah.
The finely dressed men and women drinking perfectly iced bourbons on the rocks or whatever.
And the heaters.
The heaters, yeah.
Hell yeah, because you've probably chosen the one that is -20 when the year before was 75 and people were wearing tank tops.
I'm going to put this in the Gambler 500 category for me because I've been right outside of New York. I've done a lot of New Year's Eves in Philadelphia and like kind of like, meh, I did that. I'll do it again, maybe, meh, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So maybe it's because I don't like people. People in crowds.
That's a lot of people.
Like, what am I going to do? Get really close and maybe like watch Mariah Carey lip sync?
Yep.
No,
Not anymore.
Come out anymore.
Not interested. Good for you, Mental, but I'll stay home. Chrissy, do you have something? Or are you gonna?
I like Burning Man. Burning Man, let's go.
Can I poo-poo on Burning Man for a minute?
Sure. Please.
Now, is Shirtless Matt a burner? Has he been to Burning Man?
Well, he's not a burner like Hamza's wife, who apparently really was.
His wife. I knew somebody was a burner. Yeah. I don't know. People who I know who are burners, who are older, who are in our age category, say that it's no longer cool. Like it's kind of gotten too big, and it's kind of gotten too messy, and it's kind of gotten too paparazzi, glitterazzi, too many famous people, too many RVs, and it was better back in the day, like when nobody showed up. So I don't know. I don't have that on my list. But I have one that I think we should all do together, and it is the Flutog. Does everybody know what that is?
We would rock a Flutog.
The Red Bull Flutog. For those of you who don't know or listening,
isn't it Flug? Like Flug is German for flight, so that's probably Flug.
Flugtag. Sure.
Of course.
Thank you. We need to update the bingo card to say Chris pronounces something in another language or says something in another language.
Or Chris corrects you and makes you feel dumb.
So for those of you who don't know, there's some sort of platform over a body of water, and you build some sort of wheeled / flying vehicle, and you jump off the frickin' thing, and
And you see how long your plane flies.
Your glider might go 100 yards or it might go 2 feet, and you splash into the water. And I think drink lots of beers. I think that's what happens after. So
Red Bull, isn't it Red Bull?
I don't know.
You can drink beer and Red Bull.
It is Red Bull.
You drink Red Bull before you jump in. You drink the beer after. Either that or a reality show, because I'm still addicted to such things. So the right reality show, by the way, not like it has to be a good one.
Okay.
I'm sorry, they're good ones.
Yeah, which one? I don't need whatever.
I don't
The
wanna
Amazing
know.
Race is cool. You go around the world. That's kind
That
of
was
cool.
all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do Survivor. That seems like just crap now. I don't know.
That's still a thing.
I don't know if it is or not.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to be on
yeah.
I don't want to be like on The Singer or The America's Got Talent. That's not my style.
No.
Anyway, listener feedback. Do we have any feedback for places that people want to say? Do we want to do any, or we just want to keep going?
But there's some people that mentioned the 24 Hours of Le Mans. That's extremely doable. Driving to Daytona Beach to the summit of Pikes Peak. I've driven to Pikes Peak. I've watched the Pikes Peak hill climb right before they paved it. I thought that was pretty cool. Anything else we miss?
Pikes Peak's a good
There's a
one
bunch.
because
Mm-hmm.
I would love to attend as a participant and attend as a watcher on that one.
Don't crash and die.
Well, yeah, but there are different levels. Like there are slow enough levels that we could get into it in our rally prepped car. We're calling you.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, anything else anyone has to add on the bucket list? Oh, no one's got a question. Cool.
I want to win a damn lemons race one of these days. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't add that.
You know what? That's a good one. Why don't we say automotive goals? Anybody
Win a
got
damn
It's not on
lemons
bucket
race.
list.
Win a lemons race? I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, let's move on. Do we have a hella sweet or but terrible this week?
Apparently not.
We've actually all been working. So
Wasn't this all a hella sweet or but tolerable? Isn't that the idea of this?
This is all hella sweet. So it's a
Yeah,
fully
no,
hella
I'm
sweet
down.
show.
hella sweeter but terrible episode.
Well,
Cool.
We should promo next couple of weeks coming up. We have some guests.
We do. It was going to be a really, really fun idea for us to do and a terrible idea for you to listen to. And we were just going to get the entire staff of Lemons to come on the show, but we thought about it in soberer times and we're breaking it up. So next week, in addition to having Bill Strong, to having Kathy McCaw's Fuss, we now have the chief perpetrator of Lemons himself. Jay Lamb is coming on our humble little podcast, and we're going to talk about lemons, but we're not just going to talk about lemons. And if you've never talked to Jay, he's had an interesting career and he's done a lot of cool stuff. And we're going to be not just asking about that, but about the future of EVs and where he thinks this whole sport is going.
Yay.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait.
Former automotive journalist Jay Lamb on the
Only
show.
rolled
next week.
one Range Rover. That's all.
The first time I ever met him, I was pretending to be him. So that's, I think, fun. So thank you for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hate us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If
Give
you
us
have
our passes, Joan.
That's right. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram or Twitter at everyone.racers. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless, like us, you have no shiny side, then just keep the wheels down.